Okay, so we've got the half lateral bars tacked in place. As you can see, we had to trim out a lot of the inner body structure here, which will eventually put some filler plates back in to tie the body to the roll cage a little bit better, which will add a bit of strength, take out some of the tinniness sort of sound. But we've got both bars looking like basically exactly the same. Bends are perfect. It's tucked up super nice and tight. We've got great visual out the front windshield as they don't take up too much room. They're nice and tight with the body. So yeah, extremely happy with that. I think the next thing, we want to start building a hoop for the C pillar, which will be basically this pillar right here, up and over and then back down, and that one will land right on the frame rails. These bars here, we've got them going just through the floor, and eventually we will tie the cage to the frame rails, but we needed to keep it out much wider than the frame itself, as the frame is back there somewhere, and you know, it's like 6 to 8 inches outside the frame rail. That's a lot. So yeah, we'll start on the hoop and we can go from there.
Okay, so what you see on the screen now is the cage assembly in Bentech here. One thing we noticed after we finished the C-pillar hoop is that some of our hoops, especially our B-pillar hoop, is actually different than what we first designed. We had to add in this bend here, which you can see brought that bottom part of the tube or the hoop forward. This gives us more headroom, like where our seats are going to be about here. So we had to change that from what the original part was that we created in Bentech. And then when we got it in the body, we had to lift it a little bit higher, get it nice and tight to where we wanted everything to give us lots of headroom. So everything kind of changed from what the assembly was in Bentech to what it is in the vehicle. So last night we took a whole bunch of measurements and we plotted a new assembly in Bentech, and this gives us a very accurate representation of what is now in the vehicle. The heights are correct, the distances are correct. Like this point to this point, from the C hoop to the B hoop, all correct. So now we can take our program and make straight bars from one radius to the other, or if we're going to do the side intrusion bars, and they should be exactly how it is in the vehicle, because like I just explained, it was getting a little bit different, and because we're still learning the program, we kind of ran into this issue. So took the time to fix that. Basically now what we're going to do is get some hoops up top here, or some bars, sorry, up top here, and keep building the roll cage and go from there.
That's it. It definitely needs a bit of a bend on this side over here, you know, like so they could run straight and then go down.
Lauren's been practicing his welding, his TIG welding. This actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, it was getting better.
Better than when we started.
Yes. You know, like I would say that I've probably put too much heat into these parts, but that was just me learning just to do long welds really. So just burning it in. I wasn't too concerned about, you know, the heat affected zone for that. So on the roll cage, if I could replicate welds that look as good as this, I'll be extremely happy. So.
Should pass inspection, right?
All right, we've made a pretty decent mistake here. Nigel enters the information that I give him. So unfortunately, 50-50, I would say, as to whose fault this is.
You said you were going to take the blame for this one.
Yeah, I changed my mind
Yeah,
as soon as the
whatever,
camera's
man.
rolling.
I just put the numbers in. You call it the numbers.
Yes, but I'm going to tell a little story here. And this is where you will see that it's half my fault and half Nigel's fault. Maybe even more than half's Nigel's fault here. It's Nigel's fault. So what happened was I gave him a bunch of measurements, and one of the measurements didn't correlate to the total width that we wanted the hoop to be. And then we based our center point off of this measurement for bend number 2. And in that process, we didn't catch that the new center point that we put to then do our next bend on the opposite side was then out by 2 inches. And so what ended up happening was, as the cage went up, this bend here, the second bend, was actually at a different angle to what the bend was on the opposite side, and same with the 2 roof bends. So everything was all shifted over about 2 inches, sort of thing.
And unfortunately, we didn't recognize that when we were looking at the bend list, because it gives you all the measurements. And really, when you're building the hoop, you should have, you know,
Every bend
should be corresponding,
correlate.
right?
Yep.
There should be one at this degree, same with over here, this one, this one.
Exactly.
And all of them were different. And we didn't see that until we started bending it.
And this is exactly why it's
that
Nigel's
part
fault.
is my fault, but I'm also trying to get the spring angle on this die dialed in. So I was concerned about too many things. Well, there was multiple things I should have been concerned about, and apparently I can only handle one.
Yeah, it looks like
And
it.
I didn't do a very good job.
Like a typical man, I guess. Hey?
But if you would have gave me the right numbers in the first place, I wouldn't even have to look at it.
Yes. But,
Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
We're here now.
Yeah,
and,
we wasted maybe what, 24 inches of material?
Yeah, thereabouts. And just time.
And we have
But
another length.
At least we caught it here.
Yep.
You know, at least you finally read the bend list and saw that the angles weren't right. So
What is this? Blame City. This is
hey,
ridiculous.
I wasn't saying it's your fault. I wasn't saying
Yeah,
it's my
whatever.
fault.
Let's just get another tube.
Yeah.
I'm just happy I didn't pay for this tube, so.
Yeah, this was Grant actually. This is old tube that's been laying around for a long time.
Thanks again, Grant.
Yeah.
Let's get another one done.
So now that we've got the roll cage structure pretty much finalized up the top, I want to tie off the bottom of the A pillar and the B pillar to the frame rails. And in order to do that, I want to cut off the rocker panel down here, pretty much following this sort of line here that we have. Cut off the rocker panel completely, and that'll give us more access to both the A pillar and B pillar tubes, and the ability to run tubes from those to the frame rail. So there'll be a tube that'll run from the A pillar to the B pillar and probably back to about like the rear wheel opening. And then there'll be a couple of stringer tubes that'll basically go through the frame rail and it'll be plug welded, so welded on each side of the frame rail and an overlay plate on each side as well to really strengthen that joint up. But yeah, so I want to get those done. I won't weld the A pillar and B pillar to that lower section just yet because we eventually need to lift the body up and get the body clear of the roll cage and everything. And at one stage we're actually going to take the body with the roll cage structure out completely, so as we can do all our welding and everything needs to happen on the frame for like our front and rear link mounts and anything else that sort of still needs to be done that would be very difficult to do with the body in there. So we're going to cut this off on each side and yeah, go from there. All right, as you can see, we've now got the lower bars that are now actually tacked, drilled right through the frame rails, all connected up. And while we had the body up, we welded the top of the tube to the, from the bar that goes through the frame to the bar that runs along the side of the chassis there. The reason why we did that is because once these tubes then come down, all of the A pillar, B pillar, C pillar bars all come down on top of those tubes, you can't actually weld on the back side of that. So here's another prime example. We're about to start welding out the top of the roll cage. This tube here, we need to tack this in place and then get a full 360-degree weld on it before these next bars go in. Because once this bar goes in and covers that bar, you can't get in there to weld inside this tube. So if you didn't weld inside the tube, you would only have about almost an inch across here and an inch across there of weld securing this bar to this tube. The tube would be fully welded to this tube, and this tube would be welded as much as it could be on there, but there would be an awful lot of weld surface that just would be totally missed. So there's quite a procedure that we're going to have to do here in order to actually weld all this out. So we're going to start with this bar here has to be welded first.
Yeah.
Then we have to weld the inside corners of this bar
Yeah.
on both sides. then in order to get these bars in, because they're such a nice fit, and the key to getting good welds, not that I am a good welder or anything like that.
Absolutely not.
No, but the key to getting a good weld is your preparation.
Yeah.
The closer you can get, the smaller you can make all the joins and gaps and everything, the better the fit up can be. And then, you know, making sure that you clean your weld surface and everything, the better you've got, a better chance you've got of getting a decent weld. So as these are so tight, the only way to get them in once this is welded on here is to then cut these tacks at the lateral bar to the main hoop intersection, cut those tacks, and then we have to then spread these two away so as we can get this bar in on both corners there.
Yeah.
Once that fits in, then we pull it all back into place. We can re-tack this here, and then we can start welding these out.
And then to do that, we have to lift the body up separate from the cage. So the cage has to stay on the frame.
Yeah.
The body has to come up past the cage, so we have enough room to weld up like in there.
Yes.
On the top there, because you want full 360-degree
That's
welds in there. So
Yeah.
that's another thing we have to do.
And we also have to repeat the same process back here as we've got the bars that'll come from here out to the next corners.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's a bit of thinking, bit of planning,
Yeah.
make sure we get it right,
Yeah.
see what happens.
You know, do these bars really need to be welded 360 degrees? Don't really know. All of the real experts and professionals definitely 360 weld their cages. And when you think about it, it's your life on the line.
Yeah.
If you're the one that's building that roll cage and you're going to be in it. Or even worse, in my opinion, if I was building a cage for somebody else and it's my name on it and something happened to them and it was a failure at a joint that I didn't do properly, I couldn't live with myself. So
I've seen the way you drive, and if I'm going to be a passenger in this thing, I'm going to be the winch guy.
Yeah.
I want a really strong cage. I do not want a, half-ass cage.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah,
it's a little bit of that too.
Yeah. So we're going to do it as good as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And then we will feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd feel comfortable anyway.
Yeah.
The Barbie car doesn't have a roll cage. Everything's fine.
All right, well, let's do it, and hopefully we get it right and don't make any mistakes, or else it's going to be a lot of cutting, so let's get to it.
Should be good.
Yep.
All right, as you can see, we've now got the front bars all in place, and we 360 welded this tube here, right where it joins onto the B pillar. We 360 welded the crossbar where it joins onto the lateral bars. And then what you can see here that we've done in the back is exactly what we had to do in the front. So we've now 360 welded this tube here to the B pillar and 360 welded these two tubes to the C-pillar. Then we cut the tacks off and we spread the 2 pillars apart. So now we can get these tubes here up in place, and they will sit, I think I've got this the wrong way around, I don't remember, something like that. Hold on.
Probably the other way.
Now it's
There you go.
It's been a while. So now we can get these in, and then we will just bring the C-pillar back to make all these tubes nice and tight again.
Yeah, we just used ratchet straps last time to make it nice and tight, and
Yeah.
you know, made sure everything was finessed perfectly, no big gaps.
Yeah, yeah. So it's all working out really well. Very time consuming though, doing the 360 welding stuff. Doing things properly is time consuming.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
But yeah, very happy. I'm actually very surprised with my welds. So.
Yeah, it's coming together.
Yeah.
Let's keep at it.
So once we've got this all tacked together, then we will do another full weld around every tube. After we've done that, we basically re-prep the surface and we do a cover pass. So it'll be like basically just filling in and a nice cap over the weld that's already there. And that way, if there was any undercut or anything like that throughout the first weld process, that will all get welded over and should provide a nice strong joint. So yeah, we'll keep going. All right, as you can see, we've got the cage back down. Oh, sorry, the body back down over the cage. We haven't done final welding just yet. That's the next step. So we wanted to get the body back down and make sure that nothing is pulled in any way where the body didn't fit anymore. Because that would really suck if we went and welded everything out and then it totally pulled on us. And just in the process of trying to tack in these last bars to the hoop, it did actually pull significantly over to the right hand side of the, well, to my right, so to the left hand side of the vehicle. And then we had to use a bunch of ratchet straps, manipulate that rear hoop. We had to cut a few tacks and then get it to pull over and then re-tack it. It's all very, common. It's sort of like just the way it goes. When you weld stuff, it twists, it pulls and everything. So it's just crucial to make sure that everything is nice and square and lined up. And then we're going to do a whole bunch of tacks everywhere, all over the thing before we run our final welds. But then we've got our root pass and our final pass to do. So
yeah, everything that had to be 360 welded before other tubes got put in place, that's all done.
yep, you can see the welds sticking through here.
Yeah, so now you're just gonna do some more root passes. And you're gonna do the cover passes. Lauren can't figure out that the mic is magnetic.
Gets me every time.
So yeah, we're gonna get this body nice and high. Do a little bit more trimming on the body so we can get the body like nice and high off of the cage. Give Lauren a little bit more room to stick his head in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, keep welding.
All right, now that we've got our root passes all the way around, the next step is to re-prep the surface so as we can do our cover pass. So we're going to essentially wire wheel everything, knock down any potential high surfaces, and then wire wheel, acetone, and then do our cover pass. So we want to prep it as best we possibly can to give us the best chance of getting a nice weld. Knocking down any little high surfaces or anything that might be there will just help ensure that we get a nice clean looking weld. I don't think that's really going to matter too much as far as like strength or anything's concerned, but just trying to make it look as good as I possibly can. So yeah, we'll start doing that now, and then probably quick time lapse of us doing more welding.